Hey, welcome along to episode 2 of my magazine review show, and this is Zap 64 issue 1. Here we go, we're going to look at the front cover. I'm going to try and trim this down a little bit from the last video. I don't want it to go on as long as the last one, so hopefully we can get through this a little bit quicker. As much as I enjoy it, and I would do hour-long videos every time, I don't really care, but it doesn't seem to me like they're the most popular videos on the internet, so, you know, got to pander to the crowd occasionally. There we go. So we've got Elite 64 on the front page. And we've got 50 pages of reviews. That's a lot to get through. Okay, maybe we won't be getting through it too early. We'll zoom in. It's from May 1985. See, issue 1, 95p only. And apparently it was going to number 23. Don't know who that is, but there you go. Okay, going to zoom straight on then. Let's go. Mooncrester. Heard of it, never played it. As always, if there's games on here that you've played that could bring you memories, don't forget to share in the comments. That will be great, and I'll tell you if I've played them or not and what I think of them, obviously. Okay, inside cover here looks, it's a little bit marked up, doesn't it? Terrible. Okay, let's have a little bit of a zoom so we can read it. Anyone like the 64? I'd imagine a few people do. There we go, Big Crowther interview. Looks like it's a review of Elite maybe, or a preview at least. I'm going to zip along here because I don't want to spoil what reviews are coming up. Yeah, this is going to be a problem I find with some of these scans. Obviously, I'm not responsible for the scans, I actually purchased these. Things like this, look, I mean, that's obviously an advert for Street Hawk, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Daley Thompson Super Test. But obviously it goes over 2 pages, so it looks a little bit weird. So you have to use your imagination on that one. Hopefully there won't be too many like that in terms of the reviews. Gribbly's Day Out. That's very nearly my surname, which is quite funny. Very nearly. By Hewson Consultants. They made quite a few games, didn't they? Iridium springs to mind, I believe that's what it was called. It was one of their most famous. I'm sure that's what they made. Okay, so here's a little article about the team, I believe. Welcome to the first issue of Zap 64, a magazine dedicated to entertainment, the world's greatest home computer. Wouldn't disagree with that at the time. Definitely was probably considered the world's greatest as that was born. So if you want to read any of this, like I said in the last video, pause the video and have a little look for yourself. I'm not going to read it all because if I do, we'll be here all day. And we've got the reviewing system, which it's going to be kind of similar to Crash, I would imagine. Because it's by the same team. Remember a few of these people. They were the 2 legendary reviewers from what I can remember, Julian Rignall and Gary Penn, or Gaz Penn as I used to call them all the time. Don't remember Bob Wade so much, but no offence Bob, if you ever come around to watching this video. These 2 guys, yeah, I remember them a lot. And again, if you want to read this article, it's telling you how they come to there you go, look. So hookability they've got is a cross between playability and addictiveness. That's a good idea. Lastability, yeah. So basically you're looking at, I'm guessing you've got, let's break it down on this one. Presentation obviously is going to be what it looks like. Graphics will be the in-game graphics, I guess. Sound speaks for itself. Originality, so you know if it is original. And then these 2 are probably more the playability marks, I'm guessing, if you want to look at it like that. And value for money. They don't have an overall, which is a little bit weird. But that would be a good system if they had an overall. But okay, so we've got the letters page, which was quite regular in magazines of this time, really. Again, you can read those at your leisure. More letters. 64, world's greatest games machine. Yep, again, wouldn't disagree. Now look at these facts. The 64 is the world's best-selling computer. There are more 64s in more than 500,000 British homes. Wow. More games are being written on 64 than any other micro. Oh, little clue there as to why it was so popular. Ah, there it is. the machine. I had that as well, the 1541 disc drive. Play the big plastic floppy disks. I mean, literally, they were the big floppy disks. I mean, the ones that came with the Amiga, the smaller plastic ones, they used to call floppies as well, but these were literally floppy disks. The ones that came with the Commodore 64. They looked like thin sheets of paper, black, and, you know, they were bendable. I mean, I always used to think every time I took one out of a, like, inevitably they come in like paper sleeves, and every time I took one out of there, I used to think I was going to break it. It was very delicate. For me, it was like the copy go-to of its time, I guess, because you had the cassette player. Most people, if they copied a game, they would copy it from cassette to disc. Usually would be the way around to do it, because obviously a lot of space on a disc. And also, obviously, the Commodore 64 came as standard with a cassette player. So, I mean, I found that I wasn't really in charge of all that, because obviously I was only young when I got my Commodore 64. I think I was only 9. But my dad had a load of disc games that he had that were copies. I think he bought them from somewhere. I don't know. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. But yeah, that was basically it. We used to have hundreds of these discs with like loads of games on and like a sheet of paper just to tell us what was on them. Good old days. Ian Stewart from Gremlin Graphics. They did quite a few good games back in the day. Tony Crowder, I don't know him. Andy Walker, Task Set Supremo. Okay, Blagger Goes to Hollywood. It's a game I'm familiar with in name only. Yeah, look at that. Got a few famous faces on there. Superman, I'm guessing that's probably Kojak. E.T. and I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be, because that could not possibly be King Kong. So I don't know. I'm guessing that's Blagger. A few screenshots down there. Just zoom in a bit in case you're interested in this game. That doesn't ring many bells to me. Okay, first review then. Elite, which got the Zap Gold Medal Award. So that basically is like a game of the month. I think you'd get 1 gold medal per magazine, as far as I know, and then you'd get the Zap Sizzlers, which were the ones that also got quite high marks. I'm going to shock you here, considering I am a games nerd and a retro games nerd at that, but I've never actually played Elite on any system. I used to find it quite intimidating, because when it first came out, as this is being reviewed in 1985, you know, I was only 11 years old in 1985. It always seemed a bit more of a grown-up game to me, and I never really got into it because it just seemed a bit too complicated. But I'm sure there were plenty of you out there that have played this to death. Very popular game in its day. But hence I will not be putting any gameplay footage of Elite in, because if I did, if I loaded it up now and recorded some gameplay footage, it'd be the first time I've ever played it, which would be probably not very entertaining to watch, because, you know, I'd be trying to learn how to play the game and everything. I certainly wouldn't be able to just leap in and play a level. I wouldn't have thought. So anyway, it gives us a chance to see the review system at work. Well, looks like this guy loved it. I played the game for 6 hours at my first sitting and was only dragged away from it by fatigue and wanting to tell everyone out there about it. So there we go. So he loved it, basically. He loved it. There we go. There's the reviews at work. 94 presentation, 91 graphics, 52 sound, so not great. 87 for originality. I would have thought it would have got more for originality personally, because it was definitely a different kind of game for its day. 95% hookability and 98% lastability, with value at 95. Even at $14.95, it's a must. So there you go. But I'll leave the review there for you for a few secs. Pause that if you want to read it. And the people that programmed it. And here we go with a few more screenshots. Get you zoomed in a bit on that so you can have a look. There we go. See, it just looked, to me, it looked very complicated. Probably, if you've played it out there, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, that was easy, Lee. What are you talking about, man? You know, for me, when I was 11 years old, it just looked too complicated to me. I was all about the simple stuff, you know, Manic Miner, that sort of thing. You know, it's not anything too complex. I would like to go back and have a go of it, though, to be fair. Yeah, that was a big thing. I think the first computer that it released on, I believe, as the BBC Micro, and it blew everybody away on that because they'd never seen anything like it. I guess for the Commodore 64 there might have been better looking games out there at the time, but don't quote me on that, because I mean I might be completely wrong. Maybe it was brilliantly looking for its day, but certainly for the BBC Micro it would have been awesome. It's just never a game I've ever played, which, you know, people might think that's shocking considering I'm into retro games, but here we go. Win a copy of Pathfinder. Never heard of that. A few more articles here. Is this Pathfinder? This must be Pathfinder. Yeah, there we go. This must be another review. It's a Zap Sizzler, this one. Only $9.99 on cassette. And I'll leave the review up there for a few seconds. Some screenshots for you. That one's kind of in colour, isn't it? Most of the magazine looks black and white, mostly, but we've got a bit of colour here. So I'm not in charge of these prints, you know, I've bought these off somebody, so I'm not in charge of the colour and everything else. So a pretty good set of results. Again, sound not great, but I suppose Commodore 64 didn't always have the best sound for games. You know, it was functional. In its day it was brilliant, of course, but you know, looking back on it now. Let's go through. Oh, we've got another review here. Rock and Bolt. Never heard of you either. Another Activision game. This one's got 93% sound. Basically better sound than anything else. Yeah. As summed up here, I guess. Don't be seduced by the slick graphics and superb music. There is no challenge in this game, and boredom became an increasing factor during my first play. Hence the low mark for lastability. Again, if you want to correct anybody on these reviews, if you think they were good games, let me know. I've never played that one, so I can't possibly comment. What we've got here? Master of the Lamps. Is that the name of the game? Yep, Master of the Lamps, Activision. Cauldron. Now that's a game I have played. Possibly on the ZX Spectrum, I'm not 100% sure, but I've definitely played that. Yeah, it looks very familiar. Will be one of the hot games of 1985. Can't argue with that because I can't remember what the hot games were in 1985, so I'm going to take your word for it. What have we got here then? Newsflash. Just a few articles. Soft Aid, that was something that was a really good idea. What they did basically was, I mean, 1984 was, as we all know, the year of Band Aid. Do they know it's Christmas? 1985, the year of Live Aid, of course, when this magazine came out. In fact, I think this came out, what, 2 months before Live Aid? I believe Live Aid was July 85. So they were doing various things to raise the money for Bob Geldof's charity, and one of them was Soft Aid. And it's basically it's I think it was 10 games maybe on a couple of systems. I know it released on the ZX Spectrum and the Commodore 64. I don't know if it released on any more than that. And they put a games compilation together basically and sold it for a pretty reasonable price. I think it was around about $5. I don't think it was very expensive, and all the money went to the Band Aid charity. So brilliant idea. I'm not actually reading this as I'm talking, so maybe I should have a look. It might have more information on here. Yeah, raising money for Ethiopia. Sold 30,000 copies in its first 2 weeks. That's mental, isn't it? Not sure on the games that were on it. We'll have to have a look. There might be an advert for it maybe later on in the magazine or a review. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, it was a very good idea. A really good idea. What we got here? I think these are just articles. Yeah. Again, if you want to look at any of these, I'll slowly scroll so you can pause it. Zoom out a little bit so we can get more of it on the screen. There you go. So now you'll actually be able to see the article rather than bits. World Series Baseball. That's a game I played a lot. Recently exhumed and given a kiss of life by Ocean, the Imagine name is with us again. Ocean's first release under the Imagine label was Series Baseball, graphic simulation of America's biggest spectator sport. 7.95. That's a good game. I liked it. Oh, that's a good game as well. Brian Jack Superstar Challenge. Love that. If you ever watch Superstars on BBC, that was based on Superstars. Really good game. Wow, look at that article there. Looks like Boots was the place to go to get a cut price Commodore 64. Who'd have thought that? Selling it £80 below the recommended price. I don't think I would have ever gone to Boots to buy myself a computer. I suppose times changed. I did used to go to Boots to buy games though, so yeah, I can see that, I suppose. I think I've got a number of games with Boots stickers on. Boots, Woolworths, Menzies, WH Smith's used to be the go-to places, really. Now I think, from my memory, this is Everyone's a Wally. Yeah, there it is. Can't remember that advert. They used to quite scare me. They look like a scary bunch. And a strange bunch. What have we got here? That looks like a Life of Brian rip-off on the front there. Brian Bloodaxe. What makes Wet Set Jelly sound like a computer game? Okay. I'd like to know what drugs they were on. They came up with that. The Edge Almaz. No, I don't know that one. When a Commodore 64 or Commodore disk drive, sorry. Is that comp? Yeah, I used to have one of those, the 1541. What did you have to do to win this? Sending. You could win one by simply by sending us maps or playing tips on a 64 game. Okay. Yeah, there's a disk drive. I wonder how much they would be worth nowadays. Probably quite a lot. Although I can't imagine the floppy disks would have lasted. I don't know, maybe they're more hardware than they looked. Okay. Seaside Special, not aware of this game. Oh, it's taking the piss out of the government. Margaret Thatcher, oh my god. But she must have been the villain. Each one of the 5 politicians, I guess that's a p-take of politicians, must be hit 5 times and then Maggie appears. If you can hit her 5 times, which isn't exactly a doddle, I'm afraid it's back to the beginning. If you can't hit her 5 times though. No, hang on. If you can get hit... That's not very good grammar, is it? If you can get hit her 5 times, I'm afraid it's back to the beginning with no apparent differences. What's more, if you persevere through to the second demise of Maggie and Co., the program decides you've done well enough and stops the game, revealing your score. Sounds like a very limited game, doesn't it? Yeah. Last ability 48%. Not too good once you've killed Maggie. Yeah, I'll give that one a miss. BC's Quest for Tyres, it's the one I've heard of. Software Projects. Makers of Manic Miner. Oh, that's just a short. Maybe that's like a preview or something. I love that. However, sound is unimaginative and repetitive and had me reaching for the volume control. Okay. Yeah, so that's like a short review. It doesn't look like they're giving any marks for that one. That scathing attack on the sound, you wouldn't really want to know what they give the overall game, would you? Web Dimension, another game I've never heard of. From Activision of all people. Okay. Hopefully I'm going to come across some games I know at some point in this magazine review, otherwise it's a bit pointless. That one's got a mark, this one. What have we got here? Not a great mark. Oh, is that the rest of Quest for Tyres there? Yeah, I think it is. That's very strange the way they've printed that. Oh, I see, because it's, I see, it's because it's 2 pages. So you got to imagine that is the first review, and over here where the arrow is, that's going to be where the result is, where the mark is, yeah. And that's on the bottom of the page, so it's going to be that one. Okay, I get you. So you've got to get your head around these scans sometimes. It's very weird the way they used to do magazines. They couldn't just do 1 on a page. If they squeeze 2 on it, it becomes complicated. This one's called Shades. I sound like I know nothing about the Commodore 64, but I don't know that game either. Flawed 3D Arcade Adventure. Wow. That's terrible. That's really terrible. Okay, we'll move along. Brian Jack Superstar Challenge, I was telling you about earlier briefly. Yeah, the game Superstars, if you didn't know, took a lot of sports people from the day, like famous footballers and athletes and cricketers and people like that, and put them in a competition where they would do random sports. Like you'd have penalty kicks or something, you'd cycling, swimming, sprinting, maybe some Olympic events, you know, and they competed against each other. I don't think you'd be able to do it these days because footballers and that are so insured up to the eyeballs and everything else and earn so much money, they probably wouldn't allow them on it. But what we got? Here we go. 8 events: arm dip, squat thrust, canoeing, cycling, football, swimming, archery and 100 metres are in this game. And Brian Jacks was, I mean, he won it quite a lot to my knowledge. He was, I won't say the king of superstars, but necessarily, but yeah, he did win it quite a lot. That's why they made the game about him, I suppose. He was a judo star, I believe. What have we got here? Bounty Bob Strikes. I think that's back. There we go. Let's skip through here a little bit. Looks like it's a platform game. Again, it's not one I'm familiar with. It's got Sizzler though on this one. And it's good reviews. What does that say? We cheated slightly to bring in a sizzling review as early as possible. You see, the 64 version of Bounty Bob wasn't going to be available until way past the press deadline of the magazine. US Gold promises the Atari version was 100% identical, so that's the version we reviewed. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Oh, finally a game I know. Spy Hunter. Wow. I'll tell you what then, before we get into the review, here's a little bit of gameplay footage for you. So there you go. I feel like I could play Spy Hunter for you because I've played it so many times. Well, admittedly, I haven't played it for a long time, so as you can see from the footage, I was probably a little bit rusty, but you know. This is a game I loved. It was an arcade game of the time. Basically, you felt like James Bond in your car. There wasn't much to it, really. Just trying to get to the end of the level and avoiding... you used to get like oil slicks and smoke screens. You get chased by cars. I think they would shoot at you as well and stuff. And yeah, it was a good fun game. I remember when you used to need an upgrade or whatever, you'd get this lorry come out and you'd have to try and drive into the back of it, you know, and up the ramp and into the lorry. I always remember that. You had Speedboat over there that used to fire at you as well. And yeah, it was good fun. I mean, simple premise really. I mean, it's not going to be a world-beating game for anybody, and the music was good as well. I used to love the music. Let's zoom in a bit because I can't read some of this. Yeah, based on an arcade game. I've got the best marks. Well, hookability, lastability, value. I guess it's just presentation and graphics really, and originality. So it's not too bad, the marks, I suppose. As they say there, the second opinion. Julian Rignall says, the superb arcade blast them, bump them, crash them, all action shoot them up, expose into your screens, you know, ace, no holds barred conversion. You can barely read his review now. This clone has every feature of its arcade counterpart, plays just as well. Smooth scrolling, fast graphics, great tune with frenetic gameplay. It's a must any shoot 'em up addicts collection. Okay, so it deceptively looks like a bad review because of the first few marks, but it's actually a good review. Didn't earn a Sizzler, did it, to my knowledge? Oh, it did. There you go. Didn't see that. So that's Spy Hunter. Might be a game you're familiar with. It was a big hit in the arcades and on the Commodore 64. Okay, this one says it's a waterborne version of Pole Position, so it must be a racer. Yeah, Aqua Racer. Again, it's a familiar story, not familiar with it. Doesn't look like it's the best game. Let me know if you've played it. What have we got here? Software Star. Yeah, I think I remember this game. This is from the bloke who made Football Manager, if I remember. So I guess it's like Football Manager, but you're running a software company instead of a football team. Huh. That sounds like an entertaining game, doesn't it? You spend most of your time just hitting the return key. Wow, look at that. 15% graphics and 3% sound. Ouch. Yeah, there we go. That's the guy who invented Football Manager. I don't think I can get a better view. Kevin Toms, I believe his name was. So there we go. Yeah, not played that one. What we got? Oh, Tim Loves Cricket. Played this one a lot. I'll play some for you now. So there you go, there's a little look at Tim Loves Cricket. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll read the review now, or a little bit. I'll get my. What did it get in terms of marks before we go anywhere? Not great. Tim may well love cricket, but I find it a very dull sport. Okay, fair enough. Cricket's a slow game, and so is this. So they're obviously not cricket lovers. This guy is, because he said it's a fine attempt at cricket on a micro, and two-player game would demand plenty of skill and hectic activity. I always remember, yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun playing this. Me, my brother and my dad were massive cricket fans, so, and this was the only one available, I think, at the time. Yeah, no, we enjoyed playing it, but I guess it's not for everybody. Cricket's not the sort of game that's universal. You know, you either love it or you hate it. So, I mean, my wife just doesn't understand the appeal whatsoever. Me, I love it. I've always loved cricket. Let's move along then. Herbert's Dummy Run. You can tell that's by the same people that make Everyone's a Wally, can't you? It's almost the same advert. Microgent. There we go. What have we got on here then? That looks like Firebird games. I remember the cases. Where have I played of these ones? I haven't played any of those. Booty and Mr. Freeze. I've definitely played those two. Haven't played any more of the others though. Oh, there's another side. Thank God for that. Yeah, they were cheap. They made some cheap games. The Wild Bunch. Now that I played a lot. That's a cracking game, that is. I don't think I played it on the 64 though. I think I played it on the ZX Spectrum, that one. Yeah, I'd say the Wild Bunch is the one I know the most out of those. There we go, Firebird games. I thought it was. Super Huey. I heard of this game. Never played it. Flight Simulator's not really my thing. As you know, I didn't play Elite, so that's kind of, I guess you'd term that as a flight simulator, just a different kind of one. Yeah, never played this. It does look good though. Yeah, it's got good reviews as well, good marks. Again, let me know in the comments if you've played that one. It looks like a good game. Maybe I'll have to give that a go at some point. Yeah, what we got here? Penetrate, and that sounds a little bit dodgy, doesn't it? Let's have a little look. Oh, it's a Scramble clone. Oh man, they did make a lot of those back in the day. I liked Scramble, but I liked the original Scramble. I didn't really care for many of the clones that came out. And this is obviously another one. Conversion of a ZX Spectrum game as well, apparently. Yeah, I think we'll move along on that one. Got an advert for some utilities. I don't think we need to see that. There's a World Series baseball game. That's a good game, that. Don't know if they'll have the review in here, but it's good. Oh, Pole Position. Now, this is a game I've played. This is a game I can play for you now. Let me show you a little bit of footage. Alright, so we'll crack on with the review now after looking at that. Now, he didn't like it, Gaz Penn. It looks like everybody else did though. Okay. Julian Regal said, although this is by no means stunning, this is definitely the best race game for the 64. Okay, so there can't have been much available at the time. I don't think there was, to be fair. I liked it though. I thought it was alright. There's Gremlins. You can recognise that anywhere, can't you? That's a game I played a lot, but I think I played it on the ZX Spectrum, not on the Commodore 64. Fun adventure game though. I'd recommend that. Right. Oh, this is Airwolf. The Zap Sizzler. Wow, that actually looks a lot like Fort Apocalypse, a game that I used to love on the Commodore 64. Yeah, it looks very much like Fort Apocalypse. Because you had to fly a helicopter, rescue people. I wonder if it is a Fort Apocalypse clone. It's Crash Smash. Don't know. I haven't seen the words Fort Apocalypse. There we go. Reviewed in this issue are 2 Fort Apocalypse variants. Okay, there we go. One is pretty grotty and one, namely this one, is even better than the original. Okay. I'm gonna have to have a go at that at some point. I won't play it for you now. I don't want to put gameplay footage on of games I haven't played because, you know, I don't think that's a good thing to do, because if I'm playing it for the first time, I'm not going to be very good at it, and you're not going to get much of a look at it probably, because I'm just going to end up getting killed all the time. It's got quite good reviews. Let me know again if you've played that one and what you think of it. Let me know, especially if you've played that and Fort Apocalypse, and how it compares, because Fort Apocalypse was brilliant. I loved that, so I'll be interested to give that a go actually. Dark Tower, not heard of that. That's going to be a review down here, so we'll have a look. And the Cameron is Silak. Not heard of that either, so what did... You know, I've even forgotten the name. Dark Tower. Okay, Dark Tower. Didn't like it too much. Looks like they like the music. But you can see the head in hands for the rest of the game. 12% originality, wow. In that one, 21% originality, so there we go. Jack Attack. No, don't know that one. Buck Rogers I knew. Wasn't the best game in the world. So Jak Attack got not a bad review. Buck Rogers, yeah, not great. It was okay, Buck Rogers. I was a massive fan of the TV show in the 80s. I really loved it. Gil Gerard, I think his name was, the guy who played Buck Rogers. Yeah, I liked that. But so I was disappointed with the game. I really wanted a good game of Buck Rogers, but sadly we didn't get that. Okay, I'll give you enough time to pause these pages in case you want to see them, but I'm not going to dwell. Hopefully you can read them this small. I just didn't want to cut off too much of the screen. Yeah. The art of making music. The old way, bit of Beethoven. The new way, using a computer. Scrolling through. Yeah, I don't think I'm interested in database software stuff. Oh, we go, we've got more reviews now. Shadowfire. Yeah, again, I'm not familiar. Screenshot doesn't do anything for me either. It's a Sizzler, so I got a good review. Okay. The Icon game has certain similarities to Alien. Okay. I take it they're talking about the movie. Like, you know, oh, wow, that's really good review. I'm surprised I didn't get Game of the Month. No, Elite got Game of the Month. That's right up there with the marks that Elite got, though, isn't it? Very good. Now, this was a weird game. I'm not going to play you any game footage of this because it's confusing as heck. I mean, I wouldn't know what the hell I was doing, to be honest. I used to play this on the ZX Spectrum a lot. It was one of the first games I got, and yeah, I don't think at any stage worked out what the heck I was supposed to be doing. I know you drove around London and you were kind of looking for music, and that was about it. I don't know if there was any more to it than that. Well, actually it says right there, look, drive around London in search of lost music. So maybe that was all it was, but I used to find it very confusing as a kid. I guess the draw at the time for most people was Paul McCartney was on the front, and obviously, you know, massive star. Yeah, presentation was nice actually. You did get a huge map inside the box, manual and everything. Yeah, it was very cool actually. Totally agree with that though. Hookability. I never really enjoyed playing it that much. But you know, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments if you enjoyed that game. I just found it very confusing. Advert for Bounty Bob. Okay, we've got the Zap Adventure section now. I think basically it's just going to be talking. I don't think these are going to be... Oh, they are little reviews. There we go. So Valkyrie 17. We don't give it much of a review there, do they? I must admit, when I was younger, I didn't play that many adventure games. There are a few I played. Let's have a look, see what this one is. Goblin's Dungeon. Don't know that one. Oh, is it Goblin's Dungeon or Emerald Isle? Oh, Emerald Isle, okay. It's Goblin's Dungeon's up there, but it's languishing in the Goblin's Dungeon. Wow. If you can hear some background noise, it's my flat I live in. There's people banging around on the roof. They've been doing it for 3 months and they're still doing it. So I apologise if there's background noise on my video. Not much I can do, really. Let's have a little look. Castle of Terror. I haven't heard of that one either. So adventure games not really my forte. The Hobbit. Now I played that. I'll put a little clip in for you now, actually, for The Hobbit. So there you go, there's a little look at The Hobbit. I would imagine most people have played this. What did it get? So I didn't even see. Not great marks. I would have thought it would have got a lot better than that. Ripper, never heard of that. Mind, Shadow and Tracer Sanction. Not familiar with that either. Tir na Nog. That's a game I've heard of. Again, never played. Gargoyle games. I don't actually think I know Gargoyle games. My 10 all-time favourites. Adventure games. It's just a few articles. Oh, these must be the 10. Okay, I was wondering where the 10 were. The Hobbit's at number 3. I never played Zork. Obviously, I know it's a classic and I've heard of it. Never played Zork though. No, not played any of these really, apart from The Hobbit. Well, that's cool. Write your own adventure games. Yeah, certainly wouldn't have had that capability at the age of 12 or 11. Wizard tips. Okay, yeah, this is what they used to do a lot in computer magazines because obviously we didn't have the internet back then. You used to get a lot of tips. So that's quite cool. I used to like that. The only thing was that if you got stuck on a game, you'd have to hope and pray that the magazine would have tips on it, and hope and pray that the magazine would have tips on the bit you were stuck on. Sometimes they did walkthroughs, but walkthroughs were very rare back in those days. It was mostly, you know, just tips, or if there was a cheat, they'd give you cheats. Yeah, look at that. That's interesting. Look, help offered and phone number. So I'm guessing you rung up the phone number and asked about a particular game. They would help you out. And you could write to people as well. Wow, how times have changed. That's mental. Exodus Ultima 3. I quite like that though, the fact that they offered help like that. I think that's pretty cool. Skipping through these, tis Tir na Nog, which I mentioned earlier. Stunningly animated arcade adventure. Okay, got a bit of colour in this one, haven't we? 6% on the sound, wow. Well, it looks like it was a good game though. Everything else is good. Did he get Sizzler? I didn't see that. No, it didn't. Okay. Lords of Midnight. Again, that's a game I've heard of, never played. Oh, we've got a map. I guess that must be a map of Lords of Midnight. Yeah, it should be. It's all over the screen. Another thing they used to do quite a lot. And obviously, as you saw earlier with the disk drive competition, you could win prizes if you sent in your tips and your maps. So it was worth doing. Look at that. 0% for sound. Wow. No sound on Lords of Midnight. I find that hard to believe because it's not a text adventure. Look, I mean, it's got graphics and everything. I'm quite surprised there was no sound. You'd think they'd go to all that trouble. They'd at least put a little bit of sound in there. Yeah, there you go. The monster map of Midnight. So, second half is on pages 98 to 99. That's a bit strange, isn't it? Spread it out, why don't you? The way they didn't just put it on a separate sheet of paper and put it inside the mag, but a little bit weird. Anyway, let's move along. Dare you face this? Oh, this is high scores. Yeah, I remember this section. Zap 64 high scores. Yeah, and they gave you the opportunity to fill in a thing here to put your high scores on. I always just think people would fill that in and cheat. I mean, look at that. It says they're like, I promise these scores are genuine. Sign. Yeah, but there's no guarantee that people are telling the truth, is it, really? And here we go. Zap 64. Top 64. For 1985. Right, how many games have I played? I played all the first 4. Never played that. Played Ghostbusters. Didn't play Staff of Karnath. Got a feeling I might have played Suicide Express, but Spy vs Spy, of course. Who hasn't played that? Tapper. Bruce Lee, Pajama Armor, I think I played. Spy Hunter. I think I loaded up 1985 before, I'm not sure about what the game was like. Jamming, I used to play that. That was a strange game. Revenge of the Mutant Camels. Possibly Trolley Wally. Booty, I played. Pitfall 2, Zaxxon, Trashman. Aztec Challenge. That should be Bugaboo, surely, isn't it? Boogaboo? I thought it was Bugaboo the Flea. No, I could be wrong. Unless that's a different game. I don't know. Why have we gone back to... Oh, I see, because it was... yeah, I see. Because it's on like separate pages. I'm getting really confused there. Yeah, because I could go 17, 22, 20... So we got the rest of them down here. How bizarre. Yeah, Summer Games, Raid Over Moscow, Match Point. Played all those. Football Manager, Super Pipeline. Wow, that was good. Raid on Bungling Bay. That was another good game. I played Falcon Patrol, but I don't know about number 2. Probably did play number 2. I remember Agent USA as well. Monty Mole. Blue Max, River Raid. I remember the Case for Toy Bazaar, but I don't think I ever played it. It's one of the Scramble clones. China Miner. Yeah, I think I played that too. So I played quite a lot out of the top 64. Tackiest top 10. More arguments here. These games hit the charts we think shouldn't have. Marketing hype over quality. Wow, Jet Set Willy makes that list. Surprised about that. Daley Thompson's Decathlon as well. Ouch, I used to love that game. ZX Spectrum, not Commodore 64, but... well, that hurts. 2 of my favourite ZX Spectrum games are in there. Tacky top 10. And Chinese Juggler, I played that on this Commodore 64. That was a weird one, but good, I liked it. There you go, you could vote for your top. Was it? I'm voting for the following games up to 5, okay, so there we go. And you predict the top 3 as well. And it looks like you could win a t-shirt. Oh, games I would like to win are total price must be under £20. Okay. Did they give prices on these then? I wonder how you'd know then. Oh, I don't know. This is an ultimate game because you can tell by the advert. That's definitely an ultimate game. Yep. Staff of Karnath. 2 US Gold games free. This is the subscription. What games you could get? Sentinel, Tapper, Spy Hunter, Bruce Lee, Raid of Moscow, Stella. Wow, some good games there. As far as I love Spy Hunter. Don't get me wrong. I like Tapper as well, but you'd have to go for Raid over Moscow and Bruce Lee, wouldn't you? They were a class above all those games. Good games though for a subscription. Definitely worth it. So here we go then. This is the tips section I was talking about earlier. Looks like they got Impossible Mission. That almost looks like a walkthrough, doesn't it? Could have done with that back in the day. That's a game I played a lot and loved, but never got anywhere near finishing it. We got Zaxxon tips. How to better Bruce Lee. You might have to come back and read that at some point. If you've seen, I have got a playthrough on my nostalgia half hour for Bruce Lee, and yeah, I didn't get very far, and I never did when I was a kid. I think it was frustrating because you'd get so far in the game and you'd be really happy with your progress, but then, because once you die, straight back to the beginning again. It's probably a better game to play on emulators nowadays because you could most probably do a save every time you complete a level. Save the game. At least you can start from that point. I love Bruce Lee though, it was a great game. Aztec Challenge, that was hard. And it's another one of them games, you know, you'd get so far and you'd be really happy, and then you'd die and then you're right back to the beginning again. Again, from what I can remember, anyway. Phase 6, look at that. Swim at a piranha-infested river. Sounds like fun. I don't think I ever got that far. And we got tips on Ghostbusters again. Probably could do with reading that at some point. That's a game I'm going to have to play for my channel at some point, definitely. Yeah, definitely got to play that on a nostalgia half hour. I might very well have to come back for this and have a little read before I play it to make myself look a bit better. Tips on River Raid, Kong. Oh look, little cheats on Kong. Interesting. What Kong is that? It's Crazy Kong from Interceptor. That's the one I used to play a lot. So, there we go. See, now that sort of tip I don't like. You know, how to score easy goals in football matches, because I just don't see the point. I prefer hard football games because it's, you know, if it's too easy, what's the point? You know, absolutely pointless. Staff of Karnath solved. Maybe that's a full thing. Tips on Raid over Moscow, probably again very handy. Tip number 1: how the hell to get out of the hangar. If you've ever played that game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And we've got a map here. That's, yeah, that's that. Must be Staff of Karnath. Again, if you want a scan of it, like if you've got a scan of it, so you'd have to extract those couple of pages and glue them together. Probably doable somehow. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it's the whole walkthrough for that game. That's pretty cool though. If you wanna play that. Still got more tips. Still had a lot of tips. This is pretty cool. Games I played as well. Pitfall 2's up there. And we got Raid on Bungling Bay. How to avoid bungling at Bungling Bay. That's very good. I did like that game. I don't think I was at that age. I think when I played it, I wasn't actually 100% sure what I was doing, but I did like it. This is music programs. I'm not going to dwell too much on these, but if you want, I'm going to pause. There you go, so you can pause your video if you want to look at them. I don't have anything against it, I'm just here for the gaming really rather than that, but there you go. So you can look at those in your own time if you want to. Right here, the Dam Busters. Who made that? Okay, no. Who made that for that? I thought that was a US Gold game and I might be wrong. Cauldron! Now, this is a game I've played. Palace Software. I didn't even know Palace Software were going in 1985. I know they made Barbarian. Anyway, let's have a little look at Cauldron. I can play a bit of that for you. So there you go, that's what that looks like. Now you can relate to the review a little bit, I guess. Not that I was great at it, but you know. Oh, excuse me. I'm going on holiday in a couple of days, and I've woken up this morning with a terrible sore throat and a cough. It's so typical, isn't it? Why does that always happen? You get into holiday mode, and immediately you just get ill. I'm not impressed. Anyway, I'm going off on a digression there. Yeah, that's not bad actually, is it? It's quite a good game. I quite like it. What have we got here? Frack. Sorry, Mr. Frack. Never heard of you. Seems to be okay, doesn't it? Not terrible. Battle for Normandy. Not played that either. Again, it doesn't look terrible. Pause that for you so you can have a look. Not really worried too much about that. Oh, there's another one here. Combat Leader. Wow. Lots of war game simulators. Yeah, it's not really my thing, but I liked Command and Conquer and games like that, and Total War. They were good, but I never played the games like that on the Commodore 64 because I was a kid. You know, I'm not going to play complex games when I'm a kid. There's Theatre Europe. That's another one. Looks like we're in the war zone at the moment. Oh, we're going crashing back to Earth with Mama Llama. Mama Llama. Mama Llama. That's better. Mama Llama. Jeff Minter wrote that. I remember the Llamasoft games. Literally, like they all seem to have llamas in, all of them. I know they were Llamasoft, but he was always pictured like wearing llama t-shirts and jumpers, and yeah, he was llama obsessed. This guy, llama obsessed. Jeff Minter. I'll always remember. Yeah, they're talking about Jeff Minter. I love that. It generally follows Minter's pattern of strange and hairy games. Yeah, sounds about right. There's the advert to give my regards to Broad Street. That was the front cover as well, yeah, I remember that. Oh, here's Soft Aid. We were talking about that earlier. I'll zoom out a little bit, we can get the whole thing in. Yeah, it was a $5, yeah, $4.99. I thought so. Oh, you get the Band-Aid single with it as well. And there's your games. For the ZX Spectrum, you'd get Spellbound, Starbite, Cockatony Wolf, The Pyramid, Horoscope, Skiing, Gilligan's Gold, Ant Attack, 3D Tank Duel, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Sorcery. That's quite a good collection. I mean, I've played at least half of those before, and I've heard of most of them, so that's not a bad collection, that. Commodore 64, you get Gumshoe, Pitfall, Star Trader, Cockatony Wolf, China Miner, Gilligan's Gold, Fred, Gyropod, Falcon Patrol, and Flak. Played less of those, I think. Probably only played 3 or 4 of those. There you go. All proceeds to the Bob Geldof Band-Aid Ethiopian Appeal Fund. So it was a really good idea, really good. And you know, the value was great. You know, 50p a game. You can't really argue with that, can you? I could win a copy of Give My Regards to Broad Street there. Oh, and Took of the Devil. Here's Jeff Minter. Or will he be wearing something llama related? You know he's going to be. You know he's going to be. Right. I'll pause there so you can read again if you're interested. The review. It's coming up. Where is he? He hasn't got llama curtains. I'm disappointed. But he's got a llama jumper on. He hasn't let me down completely. He has a llama jumper on. And a cat. You know, you almost expect to see a pet llama sitting up there, don't you, really? The guy was obsessed. I mean, the entire range of Minter games. I remember my dad was obsessed with the Jeff Minter game. It was Matrix, nothing to do with llamas, but he used to play that. He always used to be, just one more go, just one more go. And about 2 hours later, he'd still be playing it. Right, here we go. Which cuddly beast lives in the mountains of Peru? I'm guessing that's a llama. Which lovable ball of fluff eats grass and feels safe in large numbers? Probably a sheep. Which bad-tempered animal gives you the hump and spits in your face? Well, it could be Margaret Thatcher, but I'm guessing probably a camel. And which one of these strange animals became extinct a while back? Well, I really don't think it was a dragon. I'm guessing you'd say mammoth on that one, so there we go, I can win. So what do you get? You get Grid Runner, Revenge of the Mutant Camels, Laser Zone, Hellgate, Hover Bobber. I forgot you made Hover Bobber. That's a classic. Mega Galactic Llamas Battle at the Edge of Time. That's just crazy. Ancipital, Attack of the Mutant Camels, Sheep in Space. Oh god. Mama Llama, Psychedelia, and there's Matrix. That's the one my dad was obsessed with. Well, that's quite a lot of games you could win on that one. Master of the Lamps, Let's have a zoom in because we're a bit far away now. That was in the advert earlier. And up and down. Oh, we've got the mark for up and down. I guess the other one's continuing on the next page. Not great. This little character pops up as well. You've seen him on the bottom. It's like a little ant thing. Popping up, making little comments on every page. That's Master of the Lamps. Not great. Guess that's part of the other review. Up and down, yeah, it's part of that. What we got? Melbourne House Games to be won. Who is Sherlock's medical sidekick? Pretty easy. Hero's name in The Hobbit? Pretty easy. Who's hungry and goes skiing? Yeah, they made these competitions very easy, didn't they? Excuse me. Advert for Airwolf. I'm going to leave it on its side for you. If you want to see it properly, spin your head. And what we got here? It's the mail order. Yeah, this is what they had in Crash we went through last time. You can just order any game you want, basically. As long as you know the producer and how much it costs and everything. That's very cool. I like that. I think that's really cool. But so we didn't have the internet back then. You even got a discount. Doesn't seem like a lot, £1, but you know, back then it would have been. Tells you what you got next month. And advertisers index. I'm not going to give away what's in next month's issue because I'm going to be reviewing it at some point. And we've got another advert, Gates of Dawn. Don't think I know that one. 911 TS. That is the last advert on the magazine. So there we go. That is Zap issue number 1. And hope you've enjoyed the little stroll through memory lane again. And I'll be back next week with another one. I've got Amiga magazines, Mega Drive. So if you've got a request for a magazine, let me know. I've got about 6 different ones. I've got computer and video games, which is going to have everything in. So, and that's another one I can do. So if you want to see a particular mag, let me know in the comments. If you are a first time visitor to the channel, hope you like the video. Check out some of my others if you would, and hopefully you'll subscribe and like the videos if you do. You can always leave comments. Constructive criticism is welcome. I will reply to most comments. If you're nasty, I won't reply, but there you go. That's just the way it is. But I haven't had any nasty comments. Everyone's been really nice. So, you know, get in touch with me if you want to, and I will always answer you back. Thank you guys. Take care, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye for now.